Hi, Renaissance Man here. I'm going to go through a rundown of the contents of my backpack. A lot of people have been asking me about it. Seen a lot of great pack content videos, everything from Watermonkeys to Shug, even the Georgia brothers. Really like to just give my own version of this. My pack contents are going to be kind of similar, but you may notice a few differences. So let's get started. First similarity you're probably going to notice is this ULA Ohm. A lot of people like this pack. I tend to be smaller height and weight, so I don't actually need a whole lot. And I've actually found that what's in the south, the winter, my 20 degree, my 3-season gear works just fine inside my Ohm. I don't actually need anything else. Plenty of space. All specifications are up on the website, and so let's start loading this up. I'd been struggling for a while whether or not I was going to use a pack cover or pack liner or some variation thereof, and what I chose to do is use individual Cuban dry sacks because I like to keep everything organized. If I need to pull one thing out, that's it. Anything that I store on the outside of my backpack is not really something that I have to worry about if it gets wet. This is the internal foam sheet that goes on the inside of the Ohm. I use this to go into my foot box of my top quilt. Stick that down in there. This is my sit pad for around camp. I know I could probably use the pad that goes in the back of my Ohm, but it's a real pain since it's on the inside to try to pull out on lunch breaks. So what I use is just this little piece of Reflectix. The only thing I don't like, and I may change this to something different as time goes on, it's slippery. So sitting down on some surfaces I slip around, but it's nice. It gives some insulation just right. It's a little bit of extra cushion, and it keeps my butt from getting dirty. So I fold this in half hot dog style and put this in the back panel of my Ohm. Joe at Z-Packs has become a good friend of mine from all of the little things I've asked him to do. This is a real thin Cuban fiber dry bag that he made to stuff my quilts in. And my homemade 1.1 ounce ripstop nylon. See, I think that the inside is a little bit of ClimaShield, I think half of an ounce of ClimaShield for some support, and right out an ounce of down. You'll see all of it. I've got this little shock cord here that allows it to attach to the ridge line of my hammock so it does not get lost. And I put a small pouch up here in the top. And in the pouch I've got earplugs, just in case I end up needing something to keep me from going insane with coyotes too close, because I'm not always a big fan of that. So this is the first thing that goes down inside this dry bag. Sits on the bottom. Next up, 40 degree top quilt, homemade. This is using the Momentum 50. I just recently added a button on the back side of this so I can slide my feet inside of my top quilt. Nice and cushy. Slide this around my neck, and I've got this little draw cord here. This is real comfortable. I can open this up if I don't want it all the way around me, if I want to be able to be good and loose. But I found that unless it's really warm outside, I like that attached. This goes in, stuff sack next. One thing about the Momentum, because of its triple pass of the DWR, it doesn't let air out a whole lot, so it's not as breathable as some other fabrics, which is nice that it doesn't allow wind to come and steal heat off of you. While packing, it takes a while. Really push the air out. Now, this is my Momentum 50 underquilt. Figured I was going to go with the Aegean blue, and on the website it looked much darker. Works just fine. I paid for it. Might as well use it, right? Instead of using shock cord all the way down the channel, since this is only going to be a quilt that I will use, measured it to all of my hammocks to make sure that I had enough shock cord. I have the ability to adjust here on the sides, but everything is all set, and I know which end is the head end with this orange on here. So this is the next to go down inside the stuff sack here. Get the air out. And I'm not going to pack it down too much. I just want enough where I can roll this up. This may be a little bit more packed than some of you like to do your down, but I find that that gives me plenty of space. So this is going to go down next into the pack. I'm a hammock camper. So this is a Z-Packs Cuban fiber dry bag for my hammock. I got rid of the little black bishop bag that I had been using. Didn't figure I needed the redundancy, so I can keep my hammock perfectly dry inside my pack this way. Weighs as much as my black bishop bag did, and keeps everything nice and dry. So open this up. You can see on this top little pull tab is where I've run my Dynaglide whoopee sling. I've got a homemade bug net, and you've seen this hammock before on one of my other videos, so I'm not going to pull this all the way out. But just this sits up on one end of the hammock just like a black bishop bag normally would. The air out of there. There we go. I've got my 6-foot-long tree straps here, polyester tree straps, and aluminum toggles made out of the shaft of Arrow from Walmart, and down in the center of this are some Dutch clips. I know I could go lighter without the Dutch clips, but just the ease of setup is worth the extra ½ of an ounce for me to carry the Dutch clips. So I'm going to put this in the same side as my tarp is going to go, which is going to be on my left side, right down in here. We got a little sil nylon, real thin, coated bag that I made to hold some MSR needle stakes. What I did is I took and sanded off all of the red that was on these needle stakes, and I painted the top blue with hobby paint. Blue is much easier to find if you drop the stake. Got an elastic draw cord up on the top so I can spin that around once or twice and drop that around, make sure my stakes don't come out. I may end up changing the color of this because gray kind of gets lost. I may end up going with some orange, but this is also going to go in the same pouch on the side as my tree straps and my Cuban fiber tarp from Hammock Gear. Now you can see the other video for this tarp on my side. This is also going to go down inside my left side pouch. There are two other items that go in this side pouch. My personal first aid kit and repair kit. Got some nitrile gloves, some gauze, some insect bite stuff, a couple of things of medication, some super glue if I have a head wound or something, some Cuban fiber, repair tape, and a couple of other items like that. This goes down in the left side pouch as well, where it's easy to get to. And the Joby Gorilla Pod, you'll see the picture right here, that my camera is currently using as a support. Got another Cuban fiber dry sack here. And here's a couple of items in here that I know I could save weight if I didn't take them, but at this point it's not a matter of weight, it's a matter of what I've grown accustomed to as part of my trip. And that's not really part of the ultralight philosophy, but I'll tell you what. Having God's scripture along with me, I've got the New Testament from the Bible and Psalms and Proverbs in here. Very, very nice to have. Sometimes I'll bring my whole Bible, but most of the time this is pretty sufficient. Great to do scripture reading before I climb out of the hammock, in the morning. Great way to start the day. To end the day, I had this little homemade booklet that's got a bunch of psalms in it, kind of like a hymnal. It's got a few of the old psalms in it, but a lot of the new ones that I really enjoy singing in church. A great way to end the day, just kind of sing those around camp. Gets my mind in a great mood right before I go to bed. If I choose to take a book, or if it's early in the morning when I wake up to start reading, got this Dutch Ridgeline light. You can tell that's pretty bright. I sanded off around the tip to help disperse the light a little bit. So these three items go in the bottom of my dry sack here. For clothing, notice I don't have a whole lot of hair anymore. Black rock down hat, real nice for around camp when it's cool outside. It's not super cool, maybe 50 going down into high 40s, low 40s. I'll probably wear it like this. Anything much lower than that, it'll go over my ears. When I get to camp, I normally splash some water on me, not a lot, just a little bit. If I'm really kind of getting funky, I may use a little bit of the antiseptic spray and use that up underneath my arms. It doesn't really sting since it's alcohol free. But I will change into my camp shirt. I'll take my camp shirt. It's just a silk weight from Patagonia. Just a short sleeve shirt. If it's cold out, I'll take a long sleeve. Watermonkey did a great review on the Montbell X-Up down jacket. Got it in this blue color because I think it makes me look snazzy. I'm working on a down vest, kind of like the Black Rock vest, homemade version with some Momentum 50. I have not been able to complete that yet. Got the designs ready, but I haven't even started cutting it out yet. Once I do, that'll be my summer go-to for around camp. But this is rather nice. I enjoyed this. Stuff that away. Squeeze just enough of the air out so I can roll it up, keep it nice and dry. Clip. It's going to go in my backpack. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the book end on my left side. My water goes on my right, so I want the majority of the heavy stuff to kind of help balance out as I walk. So that's sideways. Also going to take my hammock and put that on my left side as well, right there next to the book. I'm going to talk about some of the things that I keep in my pockets and in my hip pockets. So the pockets of my pants and my hip pockets of the Ohm. In my right hip pocket, I keep 3 items. Item number 1 is my compass. Don't want it to get damaged. It's a little less likely to get damaged there, so go ahead and put that in right into there. Next up, this is my Petzl E-Light. This is my primary headlamp. Used to think I needed a big, bad, awesome, high lume, Black Diamond Storm, or one of my other Black Diamond headlamps. Keep those for serious night hiking, trail running in the dark, things like that. But for backpacking, I really like this Petzl E-Light. Puts out plenty of light. I don't use a lot of light around camp anyways. Show up at dusk, get everything set up. If I'm going to eat dinner at that night in camp instead of on the trail on the way, I go ahead and I cook dinner, I sit there, I chill out, I kind of do whatever I want. But most of the time I don't use a whole lot of light, so this works great. Final thing is a pair of my running sunglasses. Makes me look pretty cool. These are ones that fade in and out to darker to lighter depending upon the conditions. I find I don't need sunglasses often when I'm hiking in the woods, but if I do come upon a real open area, I like to have them, particularly if I'm going to be in that open area for a while. So I'm going to keep those because my eyes tend to get very sensitive. That's also going to go in my right hip belt pocket. In my right pants pocket, I carry the anti-gravity gear Aquamira drops kit. I have the big thing of Aquamira drops that I can tote if I'm doing a lot of hiking or camping. But most of the time, the light water kit's great for an extended weekend or a day hike. Doesn't weigh a lot, doesn't take up a lot of space, lays flat. I like that. Any little medications that I need to take throughout the day stay in that pocket as well. I always carry a little bit of fire starter with me. This is a wet fire tinder and some cotton balls inside of a dry Ziploc bag. And an alcohol-free sanitizer and lotion spray from Adventure Medical Kits. It's got 150 sprays in it. Roughly, I use about 8 sprays a day. 2 right before breakfast, 2 right around lunch, 2 after my constitutional, and then 2 right before dinner. So 6 to 8, depending upon exactly, if I wake up and I didn't really touch anything right before breakfast, I may not cook it, or if I'm just eating Pop-Tarts out of the wrapper, probably not going to mess around with it. But nice to have, doesn't weigh a lot, keep that in my bag. All this together in my right pocket weighs less than my wallet normally, my wallet and keys, which normally go in my right pocket. So that's nice. In my left pocket of my pants, I carry my maps. This is just a little loke sack. What I do is I photocopy the maps of the section I'm going to be on onto printer paper, front and back. Still has the coordinate grid laid out. You can see in this one. So this will be where we're going to be going on my next trip. Go ahead and put that in. That stays in that pocket. Got a nice long pocket, so that works really, really well. I would like something a little thinner this way. I normally have to fold this flap over to really make it nice and comfortable so it's not sticking out of my pocket. But if it really gets bothersome, I fold it up and I stick it all the way down in. Nice to keep with me. That weighs a whole lot less than my cell phone that normally goes in my left pocket. What goes in my left hip belt pocket is my stick pick. The camera that I'm recording on, you'll see that right over here, is a Fujifilm XP $55, bought it at Walmart. That's all that goes in here. Again, anything that goes on the outside doesn't need to be protected from the weather, so if I'm doing stream crossing or whatever, camera's waterproof, it'll be just fine. It goes in the hip belt. I mentioned my cook kit in another video, the Hawaiian Island Gumbo. But nice, neat, sits down in there. My pot, I just did a different pot. It's still a Foster's can. Painted it with the high heat Rust-Oleum on the outside, not on the bottom, because I was getting it sticking to my stove. Plus it covers up that Foster's thing whenever I'm hiking with children. Not that Foster's is really beer. Anything lighter than a Newcastle, don't really consider beer anyways, but hey, hike your own hike, drink your own drink, right? But still, it's really nice whenever I'm around kids. They just, oh, that's a cool lightweight looking pot, and they don't really ask a lot more than that. That goes in my right side pocket, as does my stove fuel. If I'm carrying only 2 ounces, that goes down on the inside of that so I don't lose it. But if I'm carrying 4 ounces or more, it goes in a little Ziploc bag as well to prevent it from spilling. Slides down in there, it's not coming out. For my fuel, I use Heat in the yellow bottle. Works really, really nice. I also keep a bandana, which is it's a great multi-purpose item. I've cut it down just like Mike Cleland did in his book. Slides right there if I need to grab it, dab sweat off, whatever. So, it's my anti-gravity gear rain jacket. Doesn't normally make it in the blaze orange, but I absolutely love this. I don't feel like getting shot. If I'm hiking in the rain and it's really foggy, you're going to see me a whole lot easier. I shove this down in the back of my ohm. If I'm hiking during hunting season, just drape this over the bottom and tuck this in the ice loop. I'm not a deer, don't shoot me. 2 more things that go really here on the, or 3 more things that really go on my pack. This is a non-necessity. I carry it just because I like it for trip reports. It's my little thermometer. It goes on my left side. That way, if I'm in the sun, it's in the sun, clip it up here out of the way. I like to clip it on here instead of one of these little ringlets. I used to have it on here so it wouldn't slide around, but I found that it actually just slides to the back when it's on the down slope, and it doesn't hit up against me as I'm hiking fast. I put just some bungee cords, some 3/32 white shot cord here to hold my water bottle on. I sized it right to fit the majority of mine. Depending upon what size bottle I'm using, I can just loop it around another time. That way I don't have to have the weight of the cord lock. I'm in between 2 different bottles. I love the weight of my platypus, but I have to turn it sideways, kind of at an angle, so as I'm hiking, I'm not catching it. That's a little annoying, but I love that this folds flat. For shorter day hikes, I've started carrying like a Gatorade bottle, and I've got just a platypus bite valve on here with a stretch of hose. It sits here, and I can drink out of it. Since it doesn't collapse, it's not as easy to drink all of the water without unhooking it. That's really obnoxious. So longer trips where it's going to be a little dry, I'll carry this and this will go down on the inside. Elsewise, most of the time I'm just going to carry this right out front. Last thing that goes on the inside is my food bag and any food that goes in that with the little bear bag attached. This is some Hungry hammock hanger, red beans and rice that I made and vacuum sealed up. This is normally how the majority of my food looks. So, homemade, Doesn't have a whole lot of added chemicals. Good shelf life. Tastes great. There you go. Saw my bear bag video. Rock bag here with the string attached. This is my weekend Cuban bag. If I'm just going for 2 days, this fits everything in it just fine. If I'm going for longer, however, I use my big bag. All my smelly stuff goes down in there, and my food, and I keep my rock bag attached here. So once I've rolled that over a couple of times, I snap that up. This goes down inside the top, depending upon how much food is in there. You may need to let these side things out some. Close the top. Imagine that big and full. There is my own nice, lightweight, compact, super comfortable pack. Alright, on my feet. We're these Vast trail runners. These are the Vast Mindbenders. I'm going to try some Innovate shoes next time around to save a little bit more weight. But I really like these. They fit my wide feet. Nice and comfortable. Got shock cord here on the front. Orange. I like orange. Helps identify me versus somebody else. Slide in and out of the shoes. I don't ever need to tighten them up, even going downhill, running, whatever. And these also double as my camp shoes. Don't need any other camp shoes. I just wear these, slip in and out of them after whatever. Thinny Thin socks. These are some of the socks I wear during running. These are Air Eaters by Defeat. If it's really cold out, I'll wear something a little thicker, but those are normally the trail running socks by Smartwool. These work great. I walk through streams, get them wet, don't matter, they'll dry in 5-10 minutes. Love my outdoor research hat. This is the Swift hat, nice and comfortable. Got a little neck knife here. You've probably seen that in my videos. Some people have thought it was like an Audi belly button. Not an Audi belly button. Normally I'm wearing this underneath my shirt, and it's poking out down here. I may start wearing it out here because I'm getting a lot of condensation from sweat on the blade, and although I have been seasoning it and putting on a patina, it's still starting to rust a little bit. I don't like my blades to rust, so I'm going to oil it, take care of it. So that's where my neck knife is. Have an emergency whistle on here and some fire steel just in case something happens to my lighter. There we go. Oh, by the way, this is my knife. This is the Essie Azula knife. Great little knife. Very super sharp. Homemade sheath for that. Hiking poles are the distance poles by Black Diamond. Pop out, lightweight, able to hold the camera out on it. Very nice. No longer wear underwear on my backpacking trips. These are some trail running shorts I've got. They've got a little liner in there. Comfortable, keeps everything up out and out of the way, particularly when I'm moving fast. I'm out there for a while. Plus, if I'm in camp, I can drop my pants, and I've got shorts, and I'm not freaking anybody out. You can also swim in these. Just a thin shirt, like my new Converse shirt. It's actually a little bit more comfortable, doesn't smell as bad as my old gray shirt, and it's a little bit lighter. Have not made the move up to gaiters yet. Don't know if I'm going to use them or not, but I've just got some Royal Robbins long pants I've got. It's really hot, and just take these off and go down to the running shorts. Did not like having a belt, and my hip belt was always a bother, so I just darted the back of my pants. Makes my butt look a little funny, but I'm wearing a backpack, so you can't really see it that much anyways. And that's what's in my pack or on my body when I'm out camping. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post below. I hope you enjoyed the videos, and there'll be many more to come.